Hello, stuff lovers and fellow pickers. You are back at Alice Ops, and we'll be very happy to show you our haul. We're on holiday. We are on vacation, which means we're picking and listing. And we went to a flea market. Now, I usually think that flea markets are the place I'm not going to find anything because they're dealers. So they know the stuff. They know what they've got. They don't, the prices are going to reflect that, and it's going to be hard to get a good price to resell. However, it was not like that. And now I don't know what we're going to do because we have no more room in the house. But we had to pick this up. So I'll show you first of all what my husband picked up. This picture, this is like a martini picture from the 60s, I would say. It has a very Fred Press type of decoration on it. All that turquoise and gold seem to be polo players. We looked up the glasses. Well, he bought it first of all, and it wasn't very expensive. I think it was like $7, $9. It was $9. He bought it because it's just very iconic of the 60s. We looked it up afterwards. We couldn't find it, but we found 6 glasses of that pattern sold for $120. So I would start this at about 80, maybe, maybe get less, more, I don't know, but that's what I'm pricing it as. Some of that does very well. Now this I did not purchase at the flea market, but wanted to show you this anyways. This is a Ladro bell. Ladro usually commands a lot of money. When I picked this up with some other stuff at a garage sale and the person said I could have it basically for $1, I thought, yes! And then I got it home and I thought, no, because I looked it up and people can't sell it for $3.85 or something. It sucks. Don't pick that up unless it's for yourself and you just like it, and So that I'll probably take to a flea market or something and see if I can get a couple bucks. This was a lovely discovery. This necklace, I would say we're talking about maybe the 40s, maybe a little before 30s, 40s. I bought something very much like that. As a matter of fact, I bought the exact same thing, except the clasp was broken and it was missing like a link. It wouldn't have been just easy to put another clasp on it. So I bought it years ago at a pawn shop for $45 because I just thought it was beautiful. The glass is beautifully faceted. It seems to say Slovak on the clasp. So it's like Czech, and really beautifully done. So anyways, I thought it was so funny that years later I should find the same thing but in excellent condition with the clasp for $15. But at this point I have lots of other nice jewelry in that style and I may sell it. So I may try, maybe 50, 60 and see what happens. It's really beautifully constructed. All the blue baguette glass and the very very well framed pieces of glass. Towards the end of the sale, we walked around and saw that this gentleman had things we were interested in. He had 4 dolls and a dress. And basically I said, well, how much for everything? And he said 10, and I said 5, and he said 8, and I bought it. Basically $2 a piece. Don't shy away from vintage Barbies that have no heads. This specifically is a Francie doll, one of Barbie's cousins, from what I remember. And the body alone can go for $25, sometimes more. It depends what model you get. This is PJ, Barbie's friend. She's great because she still has her original braids, and she's in good condition. So for $2, I'll probably be able to make at least 20 to 40. I love finding vintage dolls, vintage Barbie related dolls. That's fabulous. My husband also picked this up, and this is Christian Dior perfume. And I would say probably will go for about 50, 60. He paid 20, I think, for it, something like that. And that's always a good profit. People will buy perfume. It's sealed. So that's a good thing. And just to give you a little bit of background on this flea market we went to, an idea of what the day was like. At the beginning of the day, we were there early-ish. We were there around 8 a.m. There's a seller of cheese who was going around. He sold little packages of curd cheese, and he was saying in French, "Spécial marchand, squeaky," which barely sort of translates to vendor's special curd cheese, because that cheese is kind of squeaky, and everybody calls it squeaky cheese in English, so even in French that's what he would use, you know. And I just thought it was charming that he would have a special for the resellers who were there, and I was like, what a great community we are. So that was fun. This is a coffee maker, and the person selling this told me, you know, it's $8, and I thought, that can't be a bad buy. We often buy coffee makers that are vintage, that have another way of making the coffee from what we use today, and they usually do very well. So I said 5, and he said 7. I was happy with that. They'll probably, I looked it up, it was kind of like, you know, would make 25 to 30 plus shipping. On $7, that satisfies me greatly. And it has the original filter with it, and there was another filter included, so I might sell that separately. This was great. I mean, it's hard for me to say other things than this was great. This was on the table where those dolls came from, and the gentleman who was selling was a bit busy with other customers, but at some point I asked him how much, and he said 15 for the 2. And cheekily I said 12, and he said, yeah. So I thought, well, yes, let's do that. And we were running out of money. My husband had to go to the ATM while I guarded these. And I swear that 2 minutes after we made the deal, there was a young woman there who's looking at these, and she's looking at them very seriously, and she turns to ask, like, how much these are. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, actually, we've bought these. And she looked distraught. And then she said, how much? I said, 12. She said, each? I said, no, for the 2. And she looked at me like, you know, and I said, yeah, I know, because score. These will probably do quite well. You know, maybe not tons of money, but, you know, I'm hoping at least 40 to 60. It's nice to have a pair. It's Art Deco-ish. They could be a little later, but it's in that style. And they're in very good condition. $12 was a steal. That was a steal. Here we go. We'll have to rewire them, by the way. This we did not get at the flea market. But it is a huge pink parakeet or cockatoo pink. And it has a broken spot here, but I still thought he was spectacular because of the size and the colors and the craziness. So I asked the person who was selling it how much, and she said $5, but I'm willing to take offers. I said $3. She said that's fine, and then actually went inside and grabbed the little piece that's missing here. So we will repair that before we sell it. It has a few other chips. I can't remember if, I think it's plaster. But I still think it's so, you know, spectacular Las Vegas that somebody will want to add this to their menagerie. And I don't know how much I'll be asking for that, but I'll try, you know, something 30, something like that. We always pick this up because it always sells. Probably 40, 45, 50, something like that, maybe more. We've had more for that, so maybe 60, 70. It was $12, I believe. And it's complete and has an extra knob, so we'll probably sell that separately. These were just great deals. Okay, this is a light fixture, an enamel light shade, and it's green and it's got a few rough spots, but not bad at all. Mostly in good condition, and we got it for 10. Maybe able to do 30, something like that. We've sold things like that before. Usually they're really expensive. We can't touch them, so I'm always happy to find that. Yes, so now we come to a delightful story where I went to a stall. I saw some of this stuff that was like ice buckets and things that all are stamped like this is Veuve Clicquot, so it's for the champagne by Veuve Clicquot. We've sold some of these flutes before. Well, we've sold one and saw that it was like crazy expensive, some of that stuff. This is just plastic, but it's really highly collectible. So I'm looking around. The gentleman who runs the stall says these ice buckets that are Veuve Clicquot are $50 each. So I understood what he was talking about, knowing that it's highly collectible. So I said, okay, that's good, you know. At some point he says, is this the first time you've come here? Because I think he wanted to give me a bit of a discount. Oh, I said, we've been to your sales before. And I said, you run into us at the thrift store, but you know, maybe he didn't remember. I said, my husband will come by and maybe you'll remember him. Because my husband, he does this for a living. In the daytime, he'll go to the thrift stores. He makes some connections like that. And so that's it. And I was like, my husband has long hair. My husband, he'll probably remember him. He's got a distinctive look. So my husband comes around at some point. He's like, oh, you, yes. Oh, he's like, well, pick what you want. I'll give you a price. I'm like, oh. I didn't think he would do that for something that is so collectible. It was so kind of him. He honestly didn't have to do that, but it helped us buy everything he had, basically, in that line of product. This is Veuve Clicquot again. It's a paper straw hat, and he sold it to us for 10, and it's worth about $50. These are worth about $60, maybe a little more sometimes. Basically, we got them for more or less $17.50 each. I have more of them. More of them. These are a little different. Just so you have an idea of what we got. And in that deal, we also got some other champagne buckets. So I would say just go out there and get champagne buckets that are marked with a well-known brand. Tattinger, I think this is, Tattinger. Sells very well. So all of these things are about $15 a piece. I would say these two are probably 10 or 15, and probably a piece we should be able to get 20 at least. Just so you know, if you ever see any of that, don't think, oh, it's plastic. I know it says superlative champagne, but you know, I don't care. This is a slide ruler, and it's the Kufil and Esser company who makes this. This is a large one, so we're hoping to get at least 25, could be more, and we paid 10. This wraps up this portion of the flea market finds. We will very likely do a second part to this. So if you'd like to watch the second part, know that it's coming up. And thank you for watching. As always, if you want to give us a thumbs up or leave a comment, we always love to see what you are doing and thinking. Go right ahead.